Okay, what we would do to change this lesson would be the first day Kara didn't start off with talking to the students about what they did yesterday, and she kind of just jumped right into the lesson. So we'd ask them how their weekend was, and then we'd start right in with kind of an inquiry-based idea. So our inquiry idea was, if you're looking to make a new baseball diamond in our school, then how much of the brick dust would you need to make the infield? Because that makes a nice perfect square. And we'd have student interaction and discussion about the area of the infield. Okay, our next thing, right here, for her lesson, she had just length times width to show the area. We said that both the sides were equal, 4 times 4 and 16 units squared. Instead of doing that, we'd have a little bit more discussion because we just kind of added in units right at the end. So we'd have discussion about what is this length, and we'd say it's 1 unit. And then instead of the x's, we put in a dot, so then the students can understand that that's still the same as a times sign, just without putting in x so they don't get mixed up with another variable. On the next part of our lesson, she had the cube, and she asked the kids to find the volume, and all she did was go length times width times height, and choose colors. And she used the x's again, so, and then she went 3 times 3 times 3, just equal to 27. And since we just discussed we'd use units, we would change it to go length times width times height, but use the dots again, and then introduce that it's 3 units times 3 units times 3 units, which is equal to 27 units. And then, oh, sorry, cubed. Right, thank you. And then for the next thing, she did a chart-like thing, figure, and then she wanted them to find the, like, say the side length was 4, but in different dimensions. So she wanted them to find a 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional, but for kids at that grade, it's kind of hard for them to visualize like a figure that is like 4 dimensions or 5 dimensions. It's not really real, like they can't imagine it, like it's very abstract. So we changed this to ask students how they express multiplying 3 by itself 4 times and then 5 times. So it's just changing the wording, like using a different example that they can visually see. Okay, for this one here, we didn't change a whole lot, except for I had written an exponent here, and I decided that we would change it to just a power because we used the wrong term, so our language just wasn't consistent. This slide here, I'd originally put down evaluate the following, and then they would write out 4 times 4 6 times, and then get the final answer. We decided that we would change that to having the expanded form and then have them writing it with exponential notation. So that this one would be 4 to the 6th instead of doing it the other way around, just so that they could emphasize writing the exponents instead of just multiplying it out 100 times. And then for our last slide, I'd originally had a practice problem from the textbook that we were going to do on the board. It was a word problem, and sort of after looking at it, we decided that we probably wouldn't do word problems on the same day that I introduced this section to the class. Instead, I would let them work on an assignment where they just went through and simplified the powers or evaluated them, and at the end I would do an exit slip, which ended up really small on the screen, where they were asked to, just like over here, where they were asked to simplify into exponential notation, just to get them practicing and to make sure that they understood what they were doing for that lesson.